Okay, everybody, let's take it from the top.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Broke Boy Media. And today we're going to be doing more of a formal podcast because we have a lot to talk about with the whole Spider-Man deal with Sony versus Disney and D23 2019. So those are our two main topics we're going to be diving into today. And before we get started, just want to let you guys know that you can listen to this podcast on Spotify, iTunes, and Anchor, and you can watch the video version on YouTube. So we're going to try to fit as much content in as we can. And as always, I'm joined by Devin. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm hyped. D23, our Lord and Savior, Disney.
Woo! D23, man, they're killing it. And I honestly, through Comic-Con, I didn't think we were going to get any more. And then they're like, oh yeah, totally forgot D23 is coming out. I was like, well, that's probably more for like Disney Plus stuff, which we do want to hear. But
3 more shows, all in phase 4.
Yeah, adding that on, we have so much to talk about, man. But let's just dive in. Let's just quickly talk about the Spider-Man news, even though we've recently heard, or through Twitter, Kevin Feige pretty much confirming that Spider-Man is no longer with the MCU. R.I.P. It's a moment of silence for our brother in arms, Peter Parker.
Save Spidey, please.
Save Spidey. I mean, hopefully they can still come up with a deal, man, because all throughout this entire week, man, I'm sitting there and then I get a text from you saying, fuck Sony. I was like, what are you talking about? And then I was reading up. I was like, oh, they couldn't come to an agreement.
It really was a bomb. What was it, like Tuesday?
I think it was Tuesday. And it's what? Today's Saturday? Saturday. Wow. The week went by really fast. And just as fast as Spidey ran out of our lives, unfortunately. Or swang or thwipped out of our lives, I guess you could say. But yeah, this whole thing, so originally, from what we understood at first, we'll start back and, go up to date here, that Disney wanted 50% of, the profits moving forward. And people thought that was rubbish. They thought it was crazy. You're like, oh, Disney is the worst company in the world. And I was like, well, hold your horses there, because there's a lot of companies out there that are just as quote unquote evil, but somehow success equals being evil in some type of way, shape, or form. But
Disney could very well be evil, but
absolutely,
the content's too spicy. I'm gonna
and we're not saying that we're not, like, I guess, I side more with Disney a little bit, but I do feel like they were being like a little too excessive with that. But later on, we found out, instead of a 50-50 deal, I found out that it was a 30-70 deal, and then Disney said no. And then later,
also 25% came out.
Right. So
who knows what the real story is?
So someone had told me that, Sony offered 30-70 and then Disney said no. But then I also heard through Culture Crave, the Twitter account that we follow, which is pretty much only confirmed news, which is what I really like about that Twitter page. They had said that Sony offered them 25% and Disney said no, they want 30%. So I really don't know.
I don't know if there's anything that real that came out. Like, who knows? I think it's just going back and forth, trying to pin each other on each other.
And like, these are two big corporations going at it with each other. And honestly, I kind of get tired of hearing that Disney is monopoly, because they're not. If they were a monopoly, they would literally be producing everything, because that is the definition of a monopoly. It's a company that has exclusive control over a trade or service and just kind of dominates. I mean, a perfect example of like a monopoly in today's world would be like
internet providers in certain areas.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Or internet providers or cell phone carriers. Well, actually, technically, and sometimes I feel like they can be a monopoly, but technically they're an oligopoly, which is a little bit different, which is what Disney kind of falls under. Oh my God, sorry. And it's just, I don't know. It kind of bugs me because everyone's saying that, like, oh, you know, Disney controls like majority of like the film industry. I was like, do you know how big Warner Brothers is? They own a lot. And everyone's like, oh, you know, Disney's just being greedy because, you know, they want Spider-Man back. I'm like, well, yeah, it is their character. And the only rights of Spider-Man that they do not have is
they're also doing like all the grunt work too.
Yeah, you know, fronting money for the profits. Not saying that Sony hasn't helped because, you know, Spider-Man, Homecoming and Far From Home were co-produced by Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige. So, you know, it was a teamwork effort, but you can't ignore
most of the production was from Marvel and Disney.
Yeah, you can't ignore that, you know, Disney did make Spider-Man popular again. Spider-Verse was a great movie, but besides that, I mean, honestly,
that's a one-off. It's a separate entity, basically.
Yeah. Sony Pictures, they're not that good. And yeah, I know like Venom made like almost $1 billion, but like honestly, and this is like the sad truth, and this is pretty much for any movie. Sony doesn't need a movie to be good in order to make a profit off of it. But it's like that for a lot of movies too, because, you know, we saw The Lion King live action, and, you know, as much as everyone loves Disney, there's a lot of things I disagree with Disney. I didn't really care for The Lion King remake. Like, I just prefer the original. I think the original has more heart. You know, if other people like the more live action National Geographic esque type, that's totally fine. I have no problem with that. That is personal preference whatsoever. But like, Sony has botched Spider-Man so many times, and it's
both
like
the Amazing Spider-Mans. Like, there's a reason they came up with this deal in the first place, because they couldn't figure it out.
And it's like, honestly, like Sony as an entity, like, yeah, like they make TVs, they make Blu-rays, they have cameras, and, you know, a lot of other hardware. But like, they're the two main things that when I think of Sony is PlayStation and the film rights to Spider-Man. And that's basically literally it.
Because they do other movies, but you just don't think about it. This is a Sony movie. Like, you don't hear that.
Yeah, like, I mean, Men in Black, Angry Birds 2, and what really sucks with Sony, they just lost like their third or fourth director for the Uncharted movie that Tom Holland is supposed to be. It's a
bad week for Tom Holland, man.
It really is. But you know, he pretty much came out and you could tell he's devastated, but he still will be working with Disney because he is in the new Disney Pixar movie Onwards, which is really awesome. But I don't know, man. Overall, like, I get both sides of the story. And if I had to say at the end of the day, it's the Spider-Man fans who have lost this battle.
The thing is, they still have a lot of time. Like, they have a lot of time
they do, because Spider-Man's not even in phase 4 whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it's like they could reach another deal.
And Venom hasn't even been shot yet.
Yeah, and it's just going to be so weird. Like, because, I mean, obviously, I think 2 more movies with Tom Holland. Like, Sony's going to want to keep this going. And it's like they're not going to be able to mention anything.
It's going to have to start over.
And it's like, how do you? It's like one of the biggest cliffhangers in like Marvel, you know, MCU history so far. It's like Peter's identity is revealed to the world. It's like, you're really going to leave people hanging like that, though?
And
like,
we were talking about in the group chat, one of the biggest things that's going to diminish is the villains. In Marvel, the villains that they set up were all so good, and they were leading in perfectly to Sinister Six. But in the Sony Spider-Man movies, the Amazing Spider-Mans particularly, it's like, oh, these are really bad villains. I don't like these.
Yeah,
like Rhino, and they messed up Green Goblin. Lizard was so average.
Yeah, I would love to see a Sinister Six, but not like rushed. Like, I want them to.
Marvel was getting to it perfectly. They had almost all of it filled out. It was so perfect. Yeah.
And Kevin Feige wanted the third Spider-Man movie to be a Peter Parker movie, which I think a lot of Spidey fans would have enjoyed in general, get away from the whole Spider-Man and the whole Iron Man spiel and focus more on Peter Parker as a human being. But I don't know, man, it really does suck. At the end of the day, these are two big corporations and Sony thinks that if Sony thinks that, they could do fine without, Disney when it comes to Spider-Man, that's fine. We're like, okay, now we know what we're doing. It's like, okay, it's time to see Uncle Ben die for a third time.
Based on their past comments, I think one of their big plans is to just shoehorn Spider-Man into Venom 2.
Yeah,
which it would be cool it would be cool for a little bit to see them together, but then it's like, what do you do from there?
It's so backwards.
There's nothing set up.
At least in Spider-Man 3, they had it to where, because there is no Venom without Spider-Man, and there's no Carnage without Venom. So it's like they're all connected.
Well, not according to Sony. Venom's just like an alien species in their movie.
Which is true, but the reason why Venom looks so identical to Spider-Man is because the symbiote in general kind of essentially absorbs or copied Peter's power or Spider-Man's powers, and then henceforth kind of made Venom, because that was the symbiote's first host that we know of. But yeah, it is what it is. Like I said, these are two big corporations going back to back, and at the end of the day, do they really care about? I would hope they care about the fans, but they probably don't in general. But yeah,
it sucks, but I still think we're in good hands in Marvel. Good things to look forward to.
Oh yeah, Marvel's not necessarily hurting from it, but it's Spider-Man is just arguably the world's most popular superhero.
It's just such a cliffhanger they left off on.
Yeah, and last year was such a big year for Spider-Man. You had Spider-Verse, you had Spider-Man PS4, he was in Avengers, and everything else in between. But we'll just wish Sony the best of luck, and hopefully, I'm hoping they can still make a deal.
They have so much time. I have some faith still. Hopefully,
yeah. As of right now, it's just. It sucks. It really does suck, man. There's not much else to say about it. So we'll just move on to the next topic.
We got a lot to talk about.
Happier topic. D23, man.
Giving us a lot of goodies.
Really, honestly.
Disney Plus is going to just destroy Netflix.
See, I'm blown away by how affordable and how much content Disney Plus is going to have. That, even from just their older things, Phineas and Ferb, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
There's no downside. They're hitting every age market, every possible
everything. I don't think this is going to run Netflix out of business, because Netflix has a lot of good shows.
They're definitely still in business, but I think they're going to get hurt a little bit.
But it's just crazy, man.
It's half the price of Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's a $6.99 version that just gives you Disney Plus, and then there's a $12.99 version that gives you.
And for $6.99, you get 7 different accounts, 4 screens at the same time, and you get 4K included.
Yeah, Disney Plus will launch with over 500 films and 7,000 TV episodes.
That's insane.
And content will be downloadable. Each account can have 7 profiles and stream on 4 devices simultaneously. Some titles on Disney Plus may include a bonus features such as deleted scenes.
That's really cool.
So it is a big bargain. I think the $12.99 version is going to be. I think you get Disney Plus. Oh my gosh,
ESPN Plus and Hulu.
ESPN that's so random, but I guess that's cool.
It's Disney. They're owned by Disney, so it makes sense.
And Hulu is too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like officially now. That's
If I didn't have Hulu, I would definitely do that deal, but it's not really worth
well, we
it.
see. We don't know if it's like the standard Hulu or
It
like,
is the standard Hulu.
It is the standard Hulu. Okay, well, I already get that through Spotify.
Yeah, same.
So I don't know that ESPN Plus though. Might come in handy, man. College, you know. But either way, man, yeah, it's great. I mean, starting off $7 a month. I mean, eventually, probably as it gains more popularity and as these new shows start to appear, it probably will go up in price, and that's just normal for all of you out there listening, because it happened with Hulu, it happens with Netflix, it happens with everything. But yeah, man, Disney Plus is just going to be insane. Let's just get into a few of the big announcements, man. There's
so much.
Let's just start off with Disney Plus original, the Mandalorian, starting on November 12th, and it's going to be. I think they're going to release one episode per week, which I actually really appreciate.
I think it's smart. It builds up hype every week.
Yeah,
because people talking,
and like you can't like it's fun. It's fun as it is to binge through a show. It's like, I mean, and that's what I liked about Game of Thrones. It wasn't just, here's all of season 8. Like it's only 6 episodes, so we're just going to release all of it. It's like, no, it does build up suspense. It gives YouTubers in general a chance to break down each episode for a lot of people who cover it out there in general, instead of trying to, go through every single episode that's out and then like continuously pump out content. So it's like, let's slow it down. Let's give people a chance to like marinate and digest it for a while, talk about it for a week, and then see what happens next week. Like, I mean, and I kind of do miss that style of TV where, it's once a week, because, it kind of sucks when it really, like, the only downside to binging, it's like once you're done, it's like, okay, now what show do I watch? And then you're trying to fumble around, trying to figure out, what shows are popular, what interests you, because you just watched like 50 plus episodes of like a sitcom or The Office or Peaky Blinders or Stranger Things or something like that. So, but yeah, man, the Mandalorian.
And this is coming day one.
Day one of Mandalorian.
Day one.
The trailer looks fantastic.
The trailer is so hype.
Is this Boba
really...
Fett or Jango Fett? I've never been a big fan of either, but this does look very interesting to me. So
I'm not sure. I think it might just be part of the Mandalorian crew.
Okay, the Mandalorian crew, and apparently,
but it's so cool seeing it's the movie quality, but in a TV show. Yeah, for so long they've had to sacrifice quality to make a TV show, but now Disney has all these resources. It looks like a movie.
Oh, it's so cool. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
I'm hoping that carries on into the Marvel TV shows too. They'll look like movies, and you won't have a drop off in quality.
Right. And supposedly this is set after the Return of the Jedi and the Fallen Empire. So it introduces a mysterious bounty hunter navigating the lawless outer reaches of the galaxy. So, and apparently there's also, like, we'll go into Star Wars stuff. We'll talk about everything Star Wars first related, and then we'll hop into different franchises. So, yeah, man, Mandalorian is coming out day one, November 12th. I'm there. Disney, just
that's the first thing.
Take my money. Take my money.
That's the first thing I'm turning on.
Take
that
it.
Day.
Take it. I don't even, just take it. Literally, my soul is yours, pretty much. And apparently, so also, they're going to be doing a Rogue One prequel series, which I think is kind of odd. It's untitled to the standalone, Rogue One movie. And
2 characters that I really enjoyed in Rogue One.
Yeah, Diego Luna, and reprising his role as Rebel Alliance officer Cassian Andor, and Alan Tudyk, also returning as droid K2SO. No release date has been announced yet, but the show reportedly will start production in like 2020. So next year sometime, which is really... Okay, I can't say Rogue One was my favorite Star Wars. It was definitely an interesting movie to watch because it explains so much and it ties everything together. It's and I will say it is. I do like it better than Solo, A Star Wars Story, is that was just wow. The only reason why I actually watched it was to see my girl Emilia Clarke, of course. Gotta support her in any way I can. But yeah, I mean, hey, Rogue One prequel series, let's go for it. It definitely is one of the better Star Wars movies that doesn't have lightsabers, besides Darth Vader at the very end. But I will say that that's kind of the reason why I watch Star Wars, or part of the reason is I like, you know, if I'm watching a Star Wars movie, I want to see some lightsabers swinging about, some beams of light in the air, some hands are flying and some heads are chopping. So
I really liked Rogue One.
Yeah, I feel it, man. Great movie.
Even more Star Wars. Ewan
McGregor is reprising his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
It's so perfect.
The Scottish actor.
The place went wild when he came out.
Oh yeah, it was insane. He appeared at D23. Wild cheers, confirming that he will be reprising his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi in an upcoming series, which has already been written and will begin production in 2020. And as we all know, Ewan McGregor played Obi-Wan Kenobi first, and as you know, in the prequel series, which I know a lot of people aren't crazy about, but those are the Star Wars movies that we grew up on. So those hold near and dear to our heart. And I'm more of an Anakin fan than I am a Luke Skywalker fan. I love Luke, but Anakin's the OG because he becomes the baddest mofo in the galaxy. So that is... Oh, and also, we have a little bit more Star Wars news as well. I totally almost forgot about this. They released a new poster for The Rise of Skywalker. And I don't know if we're getting more information tomorrow, but there was like rumors that there's some kind of like trailer or something, or a picture that's supposed to show Rey holding a dual-wielded lightsaber.
Yes.
I knew she was gonna have, as soon as she had that staff and freaking Force Awakens, man, she was all like, well, she can handle that thing pretty well. I bet you she'd do awesome with the double-sided lightsaber. And I'm very excited for that. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, say what you will about The Last Jedi, whether you like it or hate it. You know, it's Star Wars is back, honestly. And I truly think that everything that is happening with Disney Plus and Marvel series in general, that we are entering a second renaissance with Disney in general, because the first renaissance was their animated series. Well, the animated series that started off, well, you know, like, yeah, Pocahontas, Lion King, you know, all that jazz. But I do truly think that Disney is, you know, they've always been a great company, but they're back on top, and for how long, who knows? I don't know, but yeah, man, there's so much Star Wars news. It's just crazy, and there probably is more that we're not even talking about. But you know, we're kind of just going off of like a few of the big announcements. Just wanted to eat it chunk by chunk. But let's move over into the original Disney library with you know, Lady and the Tramp, and I've watched Lady and the Tramp. I can't say it's my favorite Disney movie, but I'm a big doggo lover. I love dogs, so I'm excited to see it. I'll watch it. It's going to be on Disney Plus. It'll give me more of a reason to watch it instead of, you know, going to the theater, buying a ticket, and watching, I don't know, a live action of The Lion King or Dumbo. I can just watch it there.
I'm definitely gonna watch it, but I'm just not looking forward to it.
It's
just too similar to Lion King. There's just no emotion.
True, and this also will premiere on November 12th, retelling the 1995 animated film about the prim little house dog falling in love with a scruffy stray. So that'll be pretty cool. And
I do think it's really awesome that they used all shelter dogs for the movie.
Yes, really that is one good thing. So we don't have to hear PETA talking about it in general, because they are very vocal online. It's almost scary sometimes. But I digress. It does look great. I watched the trailer earlier today, and it's just about two doggos falling in love, because that's what doggos do. And then also in other news, Lizzie McGuire, Hillary.
This one surprised me.
Yeah, this surprised me, and a few things as Marvel surprised me, so we'll get into later. But this surprised me. The High School Musical mockumentary surprised me, and the Jeff Goldblum thing surprised me as well. I'm not gonna lie.
I will watch that show every day for the rest of my life. Jeff Goldblum, Daddy Goldblum, I need it all.
Yeah, but yeah, just really quick, we'll get into Jeff Goldblum in a second. I just want to cover Lizzie McGuire really quick here. So it's, as for those of you who don't know who Lizzie McGuire is, it's a token teenage girl from the early 2000s, returning as an adult in the new series.
Hilary Duff is back.
She's back. She's reprising her role. And in the new series, an all grown up Lizzie is ready to enter her 30s and living her best life as a interior decorator in New York City. There's no release date yet, but it will be available on Disney Plus. So that will
this one really hits the heart of our childhood. Like for me,
really does.
This is probably my favorite, like, early 2000s Disney Channel show.
I think really between this, That's So Raven, Even Stevens. Yeah, Sister was pretty funny too, but yeah, I agree. Lizzie McGuire was great. Absolutely, it's bringing back the nostalgia. They're hitting all the stuff, and also
the movie too.
Oh, dude, the movie.
This is what dreams are made of.
Hey now, this is what dreams are made of. And also in other news, really quick, as we go down the list, as we mentioned, High School Musical. The musical series, the mockumentary. So another revival of 2000s era culture.
Yeah, this one's a little past our childhood. So
a little bit, yeah. Because I remember, my sister's listening to those. Sound, but not gonna lie, man, those soundtracks were like banging though.
I never got into it,
and I haven't watched the trailer yet myself. But I mean, no Ted Bundy. No, Troy Baker, aka Ted Bundy, aka Zac Efron, and Vanessa Hudgens. That would have been awesome, because that would have. I mean, it's like, okay, whatever. But High School Musical, the series. that's
very odd, but
it's a very mouthful name. It's a fresh take on the beloved film trilogy. The show will be a mockumentary that follows its students of East High as they compete for roles in the school's production of High School Musical. It is set to premiere on Disney Plus on November 12th as well. So for all you big High School Musical fans out there, that should be something really interesting to look into. I mean, honestly, everything that they announce, I will be giving a watch at some point in time. But now, it's time to talk about Daddy Goldblum.
Oh, wow.
Daddy Goldblum.
The greatest DILF of all time.
The world according to Jeff Goldblum.
It's just Jeff Goldblum walking around talking to people. That's all you can ask for.
And it's a National Geographic series.
Yeah, give them some love.
Yeah, you always got to. I mean, Lion King did it. Gotta do Jeff Goldblum. So the little synopsis here states that the new National Geographic series, the legend that is Jeff Goldblum, will follow Jeff Goldblum as he learns about things that make him curious. It will include everything from sneakers to ice cream to tattoos. I Know Nothing is the premise, says Jeff Goldblum, and it is set to also release on November 12th. So a lot of stuff is going to be hitting off the market right there on November 12th. So we're getting a lot of stuff. And D23 EXPO will be running through tomorrow, which is really good. Trying to see what else before we get into Marvel news. Did they announce anything else that's really worth noting? I know there's they announced Encore. Noel.
There's also Noel. I was gonna say, I think that looks really good. Great cast in that one.
I think I'm definitely excited for that one as well. It's a great time to be a Disney fan. No matter what you say, no matter if you think that they're greedy, guarantee you that your butt will be in that seat when
you're
Star
gonna be
Wars
asking your friends to
and or
borrow
Frozen
their account.
2. Yeah,
and you're gonna be asking their friends to get on their accounts, 7 screens or 7 sharing.
Train those Netflix passwords for Disney Plus. Hey man, I'll let you hop on my Netflix if you give me that Disney Plus. Hey man, sounds like a deal to me.
That's a trade up.
Yeah, it is. Well, yeah, it's a trade up. But those will definitely be my 2. I don't know, man. HBO Max is looking pretty freaking nice as well. I might have to look into that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into it. The one that's not.
I think DC Universe is supposed to be absorbed into that as well.
Yes, I saw that, but I think Apple Plus is the one that's like I don't really care at all. What you're doing.
Apple Plus streaming is interesting to say the least.
I'm sure they'll have good stuff, but it's like that's just too much.
We'll see. I mean, I'll definitely give it a try. When I say try, I'll just, I have a few email accounts that I can sign up for. Unless it actually like signs you up through your Apple ID, then you're screwed. And I think that's what's going to happen because everything else is, So that's pretty much everything non-Marvel related. I'm looking forward to Noel, and then I'm not sure what Encore is, to be completely honest.
There's that kind of weird show with Kristen Bell where they took people back to high school that performed in high school plays.
Oh, okay. I see.
It's like a reality TV show.
I'll definitely have to give the trailer for that a watch as well. But yeah, that's majority of the things that were announced at Disney D23 thus far. We are recording this on Saturday, August 24th, so we still have another full day of the Disney goodness that's coming about. But that's not all that happened. We got a lot of Marvel news to talk about today, folks. A lot of Marvel news, a lot indeed.
Yes.
Starting off with three new
Disney Plus TV shows, all in Phase 4.
Just
jam-packed.
Got Moon Knight.
Yes.
She-Hulk and Miss Marvel.
Yes.
So that's going to be amazing. I am very, very excited. And we got a little bit more information about the What If series as well. Apparently
23 episodes.
23 episodes, one for each movie. Yeah, don't know how that's going to work with Spider-Man.
Well, it'll be a cartoon version of him, so I don't know.
Well,
I don't know how that works.
Well, if it's a TV show,
yes, I think they're fine. Have TV rights.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. It's the same thing with Hulk. They have issues with Hulk rights for movies, but with TV, they can use Hulk whenever they want.
Yeah, because Universal still owns Hulk, and it gets so crazy with like, who owns this property? Who owns that? But it's like, okay. We understand. We get it. But like the whole who owns who thing just gets a little tiresome, in my opinion. And I feel like it's a bit broken, but that is a discussion for another day. So, and we also got the Eternals. We know who's going to be playing who. My boy Kit Harington is up in this universe. Let's go.
People definitely thought he was going to get a bigger role, but
I thought he was going to be Kraven the Hunter,
Wolverine, or Moon Knight with the big rumors.
Yeah, Moon Knight. I don't know too much about Moon Knight myself, but
I did some pretty good research on all 3 of the new TV series because
watching variant comics on YouTube.
I just went to Marvel.com. They have great descriptions.
Oh, do they really? Okay. And it's also the 80th anniversary of Marvel Comics as well, everybody. So that's pretty freaking awesome.
But yeah, I know me and you, we're not like the biggest comic fans, so a lot of times we don't have all the information for all these characters.
Right. And instead of just, as much as I would love to read through all these comics, it's just easier for us to go online and learn about these characters and learn about what happens in the comics. So I guess you can get just the basics of what's going on, because I mean, growing up, like, yeah, there were a few comics that I had. I have a few Spider-Man comics at home. I couldn't really tell you which ones, because when I was younger, I was just like, I just want to read anything Spider-Man related, because he was my favorite superhero. But I also had a few like Japanese manga or manga, whatever, however you want to pronounce it. I had a lot of those comics as well. But I always just prefer watching the shows, because it was just like when I was younger, I just wasn't like the biggest reader, even when it came to like comics. I just like seeing the animations on screen and whatnot. But it really, I mean, there's a wealth of knowledge out there. You know, we have a lot of friends who do read the comics, and you know, it's a great source of information to you know, just dive into in general. So we're very fortunate to have them as friends, and yeah, it's, you know, we're big comic lovers ourselves, but you know, we're more on the movie side, and it's as long as, you know, they stay true to the comic character, you know, their roots, so to speak, we're all for it, to be completely honest.
They don't even have to necessarily stay true to the comics, because obviously Marvel,
right,
MCU has done a great job of creating their own stories and their own characters. And
adaptation, as long, I'm all for adaptation, because people need to understand, and like, there are a lot of things that don't necessarily trans well from book to screen, whether it be comics or, you know, just a basic like novel. So like an example would be in Game of Thrones, Ser Jorah Mormont in the books is like short and hairy, and he has blue hair. No, I'm sorry, that's somebody else. Or is it Jorah? I can't really remember. It was either Ser Jorah or one of Daenerys's lovers throughout her time within the series. But yeah, clearly that doesn't well, actually, no, a better example would be Daenerys Targaryen in the books. Number one, she starts off as like 12, 13 years old, and she has purple eyes instead of, you know, Emilia Clarke's, I think she has like hazel brown eyes, something like that. So clearly there's a lot of things that just don't transcend well from book to screen. Not everything's going to look as amazing as it does on a cartoon character as it does in live action. So adaptation is all about it. But man, oh man. I mean, also in other news, well, who else got roles for the Eternals besides my Kit Harington? I can't really remember. Do you know any off the top of your head?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, if we come to it, we come to it. But also
the cast is pretty crazy though.
Yeah, and I know it's pretty stacked, and that's what I'm very, very excited about. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed that Kit Harington wasn't going to be a bigger role star. But I mean, hey man, he got into the MCU, and he's a great actor. And you know, as I've said in other videos, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, and I always love to see where, you know, the actors of Game of Thrones, where they end up next in future projects. You know, Emilia Clarke's doing a new Christmas movie, like a rom-com Christmas movie. Looks pretty interesting. You know, we saw Sophie Turner in Dark Phoenix. Say what you will about the movie. You know, Sophie Turner's a great actor herself. And we have Maisie Williams. She was in a Netflix movie recently. She played a little girl who had cancer, and she was also supposed to be in New Mutants, but Disney's not too happy about New Mutants in general, but
for good reason.
Yeah, honestly, I would just say release it straight to Blu-ray, get it over with. It's out there.
I'd say just put it on Hulu.
Yeah, or that, honestly, somewhere where people have easy access to view it in general. But we also got Black Panther 2 release date May 6th of 2022.
So far away.
So far away, but you know, it's really good that Marvel is, or Disney, I'm just gonna say Marvel. It's good that Marvel is setting up the future for phase, you know, for phase 4 and beyond. So it's, you know, we haven't really heard anything about phase 5, but I mean, Kevin Feige did confirm at Comic-Con that, you know, we're getting Blade and we're also getting Captain Marvel 2. And he also announced that Black Panther 2 was in production there, but this was more of the official announcements. It's just been wild, man. I can't contain myself.
Yeah, I think we should do a nice little dive into these 3 new shows.
For the She-Hulk and everything else in between.
Yeah,
I agree.
So I definitely did some research on the 3 of them. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the characters.
I'm really not, but you know, if you want to go ahead and explain it to the audience, for especially people who have you know, not really heard of these characters. I've heard of She-Hulk before, but
She-Hulk's pretty self-explanatory. Just in the name.
Are you sure? No, I'm sure. Are you sure it's not Hulk that's just saying she all the time? But yeah, go ahead and you know.
So I'd say the one that garnered the most hype was definitely Moon Knight. People have wanted Moon Knight in the MCU for a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
He has possibly the coolest design of any hero in the MCU or in the Marvel universe. Like his all white suit just looks so cool. I know he gets comparisons to like Marvel's version of Batman a lot, but that's really just kind of vaguely the appearance. That kind of stops there. They don't really have any similarities in their background or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, his name is Mark Spector. He's actually of Jewish heritage, so I know they're going to try to cast someone who's Jewish as well. Try to get some representation for that. That'll be interesting.
Oh yeah.
So he was in his lifetime. He was a boxer, a Marine, and a CIA operative. That's a cool trio of things to do. Pretty badass. And then he becomes a hitman. And then kind of gets caught up in some things, and then ends up in
Egypt. Some bad apples.
And he gets these really cool powers from these like Egyptian entities.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really cool. I'm so excited to see where they go from there.
Okay, that sounds really, yeah. I know he's been compared to Batman a lot, but that's pretty much all I really knew about him in general. But that really does sound very, very interesting.
And his place of origin is Chicago, Illinois. It's pretty cool.
So I've heard different things before, like Miss Marvel. I know that she was technically Captain Marvel at first.
Well, I think Captain Marvel had the name Ms. Marvel first.
Right, I think that's what it was.
This Ms. Marvel is named Kamala Khan.
Mm-hmm.
So she's her own kind of Ms. Marvel. She's a high school student in New Jersey, Jersey City. Interesting location.
Very interesting.
And she's actually the first Muslim superhero in the Marvel universe.
Did not know that.
Yeah, I believe she's of Indian American descent. So it's kind of cool that there'll be some representation for that. Her powers are really interesting. She got exposed to some kind of mist
chemical
in New Jersey and got these powers. She's kind of like Mr. Fantastic. She has the stretching ability, but she can also enlarge like things. So her main thing is like making her fist huge and just knocking dudes out.
Sounds pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, her main backstory is that she always idolized Captain Marvel, and then when she got the power, she kind of just kept looking up to her, and then decided to go with Ms. Marvel in her honor.
Okay, I'm digging it so far. Marvel
and it's another entry into a possible Young Avengers movie.
Oh, you know what? That would be really awesome. I'd like to see that. I would definitely like to see that.
They got quite a few options to add in there. Maybe Spidey, but who knows? And
I know a lot of people were kind of upset that she wasn't getting her own movie, but there's this one guy on Twitter.
She will be in movies too, they said.
Yeah, because even with WandaVision, she'll be in Wanda Maximoff will be in Multiverse of Madness as well. So yeah, it's been a crazy day, man. I'm trying to see what else was necessarily out there. I know I sent you like a lot of stuff earlier. Also, well, we pretty much got the nail in the coffin with Spider-Man not being in the MCU anymore, but so apparently, just want to segue back to Star Wars for a second. So I guess footage from The Rise of Skywalker featuring a hooded Rey wielding a double-bladed lightsaber will be released at some point today. I'm not sure if that's happened or not, but Kit Harington, we said about, he's actually playing Black Knight. I'm not sure if I mentioned that earlier, but it's Jeremy Conrad. That was the guy. He was the one saying that people were kind of upset about Miss Marvel not originally being in movies, but him saying that it's pretty much bound to happen in general. So saw a little bit of the how the demo of Disney Plus and its interface. I don't know, was there anything else you wanted to cover? Do you think we've everything we wanted to touch on pretty much, unless there was something else that came to mind?
Just take my money. I will give you $7 right now.
Disney, I will just pay for my first subscription for the year up front, right now, so I don't have to worry about it forever. Oh man, honestly, congrats to Disney, and also it's Alana Pierce's birthday. From
Happy
Funhouse.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Alana, from the dark corner of YouTube. Where all the aspiring YouTubers are, kept. But yeah, so it's her birthday, and D23 is going on. Saw 2 great movies this weekend. Gotta check those out.
A couple indie movies is
these indie movies are really taking over, man, and they're just killing it. I absolutely love it. I saw like a lot of people in these theaters watching these indie movies, and I'm like,
oh, both my theaters are packed.
Yeah, I was like, this is really good.
I went to see Ready or Not last night at 10:30, and it was packed.
10:30, holy crap!
Even that late.
Why did you go so late?
I don't know, just wanted to. It was packed though. Everyone wanted to go see it.
It was oddly packed in my theater on a Friday. I mean, I get it, like it's a Friday or whatever, but like it was just more unusually packed as normal than normal, I should say. It was very, very odd, but yeah, man. So I guess that pretty much sums it up. Everyone, thank you for listening if at home or watching this. If you're watching at home, just again, Disney, congratulations. And it's also the 80th anniversary of Marvel Comics. So that is something truly to behold. It's been a long way, and it's really sad that Stan Lee was not here to witness something that he helped create between him and Jack Kirby. Both of them are, they're great heroes to a lot of aspiring artists out there, and they're both deeply missed. So I think that's going to be it for this podcast. For everyone who wants to, follow us on Twitter, as I said before, you can follow us there, Broke Boy Media, Broke_Boy, spelled BOI, _media, and I already said Spotify, iTunes, and Anchor for the audio listeners, and for the video listeners, obviously you can find us here on YouTube, and we will see you guys in the next one, whatever movie that may be. I don't know. I can't remember what's coming out next.
I have no idea.
Maybe we should do Dora the Explorer.
We could. It's a little late.
Angry Birds 2, maybe? I mean, you sure? It's supposed to be in the movie of the summer, man. The summer is winding down. But football season starts. So
heck yeah.
Let's go Steelers.
I don't think anything comes out next week.
I don't think
I'm not seeing anything.
I wanted to see Byron Banks, but yeah. I don't know. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. So peace out.